Right, welcome back to an episode of No One Cares, But I Do. And today I am going to be reading, oh my god, the Milk Fic. You know what it is. It's the Panic at the Disco ship fic, whatever you like to call it. So yeah, I'm reading this today for the first time ever. I was gonna do this like a while back, but I just never got around to it. And by the way, if my audio quality sounds way different, I finally got a microphone. It's not very good. It's this near stream microphone, whatever. It's meant to be adaptable to both laptop and phone. Yeah, it's not that good though. I don't have that filter. Is that what they call it? I'm not sure what you call it, but it's that fluffy thing that you have on microphones. I don't have that. I didn't come with one. So yeah, I need to like invest in one. So if I sound a bit underwater, I'm gonna try my absolute hardest to clear up the audio. But anyway, before we get into this though, I would greatly appreciate it if you'll subscribe to help me out, like this video to boost up in the algorithm, comment down below any suggestions for any video ideas or topics you want me to cover, and I might make a video covering it or whatever. Not guarantee though, because I am lazy. Just kidding, I'm rather busy just with life in general. This isn't like my main thing. And also hit that bell so you get notifications to all of my videos. And by the way, I have a Twitter. Here it is on screen right now. I mainly do just posts now, I'm not gonna lie with you. BNR, whenever there's a new video, I'll be like, hey, here's a new video, check it out. I'll put the link to the video in the tweet. I'll pin that so when you obviously go to follow my Twitter, that's kind of the first thing you'll see so it doesn't get buried under reposts and shit posts and all that stuff. So yeah, go follow my Twitter and do all the other things I just said right now. Anyways, let's get into this. The Milk Fic Raiden by Panic Over Fandoms and Feels, although I don't think this is the original fanfic. Anyways, author's note, so I noticed there wasn't an actual copy of the real Milk Fic, so I decided to change that. This isn't mine, I'm just reposting it. Enjoy. My god. I remember being like, 11 in 2017 when this was published, and I remember having so many online friends that weren't even really into Panic at the Disco, because I was into Panic at the Disco, reading the Milk Fic. It was so huge. Like, it blew up around 2017 to 2018, and oh no, that's just crazy. I'm pretty sure Gerard Way read it and he liked it, so that's a bit weird. Ryan was kneeling in the bathtub, as Hal under his knees and another under his hands. His head turned as he craned his neck to watch Brendan working. The younger boy swirled the spoon around in the overlarge bowl. Right, okay. Before tapping it against the rim and laying it on the counter. You know, cool down once I get in the bag. But is that good? Brendan bent over next to the tub so Ryan could slowly dip 2 fingers in the bowl, nodding once. It's fine. Brendan nodded again. I feel like I'm pronouncing Brendan Urie's name wrong. I don't know why. I hope I'm not. Reaching out to stroke Ryan's hair before standing back and returning to the sink, where all the equipment was spread out. The hook was already hanging from the shower curtain so Brendan could hang the bag as soon as it was full. Go ahead and take the plug out, baby. His voice was soft, gentle. And start with your fingers. Oh, is this a butt plug? Oh my god. I don't know what I expected really. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna harass you or dox you or send you death threats for shipping real people. It's been a thing since forever. But I really do not like real person shipping. Maybe that's a controversial opinion. It probably is, considering since I like Panic! At Disco, My Chemical Romance, those are really big fandoms that also really love shipping the other band members, but I've always found it just really weird, especially when they have like wives and girlfriends and children. Like, yeah, sure, maybe some of them are fine with it. I doubt it though. I still find it just like such an odd concept. I don't know. Don't attack me for that. It's just my opinion, to be honest. It was the gentlest of their quote unquote darker interludes. No name calling or hair pulling or punishments for noises of pain. It hurt enough on its own, was degrading enough on its own. Brendan didn't need to add anything to that. Brendan felt a small tremor run through his body as he heard a soft moan coming from the bathtub. Knew the other boy had just extracted the plug. He glanced up at the mirror, watching the boy set the glass plug on the edge of the tub next to the bottle of lubricant. I don't know why, but that felt like a tiny bit clunky in the writing. I'm not a writer by any means, and I just felt a bit weird. And also, I've never gone glass butt plugs. Would that not break inside you? Maybe it's like ear stretching, because you're recommended to use glass earplugs when stretching out your ears, and they're not meant to like break inside them. So maybe it's the same thing, but still. Ryan picked up the bottle, desperate to fill himself as he opened it, dripping some of the lubricant onto his fingers and rubbing them. It was cold to the initial touch, but warmed up as his fingers moved. Oh my god, my voice is already gone reading this. It's like not even 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm just doing this in the morning. You're so fucking hot like that, baby. Brenton purred from the sink where the bag was nearly half full. Now, go ahead. Ryan flushed warm from the compliment, his wrist sliding down along his waist, hip bone the curve of his arse. And then his fingers were poised, resting against his entrance before pressing in. He was already loose from the plugs, so it was an easy intrusion. He didn't even bother with more lubricant before pressing a third finger in, moaning outright at the stretch. Is it true that, like, especially for guys, it's more pleasurable in the arse to finger your arse or whatever? Because I can't imagine doing that for myself. Like, yeah, a vagina, I get, put 3 fingers in it, meant to be very pleasurable for the woman or whatever. But in your arse? I feel like that would feel like f***ing, but backwards, surely. Because, you know, shit comes out, you put stuff in you. Does that not feel like reverse shitting? I don't know. I guess I'll never know. He started as he heard the click from Brendan hanging the bag. Already? Don't sound so disappointed, the boy chided softly. You can keep your fingers in for a second. He almost added a soft slut, but stopped himself. Brendan leaned down, reaching for the bottle of lubricant, letting himself hover over Ryan for a moment, his breath tickling the back of the boy's neck. Ugh, hot breath. Just think about everything I'll do after, he whispered before straightening back up and sticking lube across the tip of the nozzle in his own fingers. Ryan whined, but slowly pulled his fingers out anyway. He wasn't empty for longer than a few seconds, Brendan's fingers immediately sliding over his opening before pressing in, then pulling out to press in the tip of the nozzle. Breathe, he murmured. Oh wait, am I meant to murmur that? Breathe, he murmured. I don't know if I've done a good job. Fingers running down the boy's spine. I'm going to now, okay? Wait. Ryan choked out. I'm not going to pretend to choke out. I'm not an emotional, like, reader or whatever. I'm going to now, Brendan repeated, voice a little harder this time. You're fine. He kept his fingers running down. Oh my god. He kept his fingers running along the boy's spine as he loosened the clamp. I sounded like a proper fucking smoker there. It's because I do smoke cigarettes, like, not often, but I do it as, like, a social thing, and maybe it's f***ing up my throat. Although, thankfully, I'm not addicted yet, and you want to know why? I swear by this, but, like, I will never finish a cigarette. Never, ever. I will leave a quarter of it, and it pisses smokers off, but I never get addicted. I never get cravings. It sounds like a pretty good deal. Where was I? Sorry. Ryan bit his bottom lip, moaning as he felt the first rush of the warm milk sliding into his body. Oh my god, it's a milk enema. Oh my fucking god. I get it, it's the most like popular Panic at Disco fan fiction. I was there when it was popular. It's called the Milk Fic, but I did not know that's how milk was involved. Oh my god. It's a milk enema, isn't it? Oh, the beginning of the enema, yeah, it's a milk enema. No offense to people who like enemas, yeah. But oh my god, it's a milk enema. Ugh. It was always like Brendan's fingers were now. Smooth and soft almost. The cramps would come soon enough, but Brendan's fingers would still be the same. Ooh, yeah, that would cramp a little. Here's the thing. It's completely unrelated, I guess. But I can have milk with cereal, obviously. I eat it almost every single day. But I can't have milk alone. If I had a glass of milk right now, it would give me the worst like stomach cramps ever. What's up with that? Do I have lactose intolerance except when Weetabix is involved? I'm not too sure. But anyways, Brendan's fingers will still be the same. When they started, one of Ryan's hands flew up to his stomach and Brendan stopped the flow without a word, letting the other boy massage his abdomen to ease the pain. Just tell me. Okay, Ryan whispered, his hand still on his stomach. Brendan loosed the clamp again and Ryan felt the warmth continuing to enter his body. He continued to try and massage away the dull ache of the cramps as he felt his stomach slowly begin to expand from the amount of liquid he's taken. What is the point of the milk enema? Is, like, Brendan gonna slowly get it all out of Ryan and drink it or whatever? Like, he squeezes him like a Capri Sun and just drinks it? Oh, I hope not. Or are they just gonna fuck like that with all the milk inside, and then Brendan just gets a milky dick? I don't know. That'd be a really disgusting Milky Way chocolate milky dick. Stop, he choked out again. He wasn't supposed to ask how much, but he was desperate to know. He felt like he had taken half already, but he knew it was probably more like a quarter of the bag. Then why ask if you know how much it is? Bren, he asked, voice close to cracking. Brenny. His voice was weak. "You're doing great, baby." The boy leaned down, letting soft kisses feather along Ryan's lower back. So good. That reminds me, I need to cut my hair today. I need to feather it out so it's a bit softer. The tears were starting to build up. Ryan could feel them in his chest, waiting there. Another ache in his body. Oh, I hate when that happens. Like when you really want to cry. And you feel it in your throat and your chest. Oh, it's a horrible feeling. I've hated that ever since I was a kid. I don't. He let his head fall forward, trying to slow the breathing, trying to focus on Brendan's fingers instead of the liquid inside them. Okay, he whispered, voice cracking as the first tears slid down his cheeks. I feel really sorry for Ryan. The flow continued and Brendan slowed the flow without a say-so after 5 minutes or so. Without a say-so after 5 minutes or so, now. See, the writings can be quite clunky at times. You're taking it so well, Rye, he cooed. You've got half. Ugh, there was a hair in my mouth. He usually didn't tell Ryan how much he had taken, but it had been a while since they'd done this, and he didn't want the boy to break before he managed to get both quarts in. Half? Ryan asked, voice timid, as if he wasn't sure he'd been relieved or disconcerted. Mm-hmm. Brendan leaned forward, letting his lips kiss the back of Ryan's neck, and between the boys' shoulder blades. Oh, I hate shoulder blades. I don't know what it is. Sorry, I'm interrupting a lot, but this is me. If you've watched me, you know I interrupt myself a lot. I hate collarbones, shoulder blades, rib cages, any sticky out bone. I just hate that. I hate it on myself as well. But collarbones disgust me the most. I think it's because I can see my collarbones. I can't see my shoulder blades, but I can certainly feel them. And it's disgusting. I really do hate it. I wish your collarbones weren't visible and shoulder blades. You could feel them when you're on your back trying to sleep. That's why I can't sleep on my back. I always have to sleep on my side because I can feel my fucking shoulder blades and it's disgusting. Sorry, I don't know why I went on that tangent. I'm still gonna keep it in though. Are you ready for more? When Ryan hesitated, Brendan squeezed his hip. You can take it, baby. You've done this before. Ryan's head nodded a fraction of an inch, his breathing already laboured. He gave a small squeak as the milk started slipping into his body again. Please, please, I can't. He shook his head, the tears coming out for real now. Brendan clamped the nozzle again. I can't, Brent. Please, I need to please. I could be like an audiobook voiceover. The younger boy reached his hand down to Ryan's stomach, the curve of the belly that wasn't usually there. I know you can take this, he said, voice low but not angry or disappointed. I know you can, Rye. He let their fingertips brush, but I won't make you, he added. It's up to you. Oh, as opposed to penis tips touch. It's only fingertips. Boring. I'm not even joking you, my dog is fast asleep while I'm reading this. Is this a bedtime story for her? I don't know. Ryan hated that. It would have been so much easier to go along with it if Brendan hadn't given him the choice. Now it's up to him to decide if he wanted to be selfish and disappoint his boyfriend and not get rewarded, or just go along with it and deal the pain. I'll try, he mumbled weakly. How do I mumble that? I'll try. He mumbled weakly, squeezing his eyes shit. And biting his bottom lip between his teeth as he felt the flow again. Brendan slipped his hand over Ryan's stomach to wrap around his cock, gently stroking, trying to turn the whimpers that the older boy was now making into moans. So good, baby, he kept whispering over and over again. Oh wait, no. So good, baby. He kept whispering over and over again. You're taking it so good. Hurts. Ryan choked out. Break. Brendan locked the clamp again, letting Ryan rub his stomach and try to catch his breath. It's almost all in, he said gently, still stroking the other boy's erection. Just a little bit more. I know you can take it, Rye. How much? The question hung heavy in the air for a moment. Rye wasn't supposed to ask, and he knew it. But he also knew Brendan never spanked him or punished him during an enema, so the worst possibility was simply that the other boy wouldn't tell him. Probably 4 ounces, Brendan answered finally. I'm going to start it again, okay? You can take this all in one go. Ryan nodded, gritting his teeth and counting silently in his head, hoping it wouldn't take longer than a minute to finish. He was only a few seconds over when the flow stopped and Brendan planted a kiss to the small of Ryan's back. I'm going to switch it out for the plug, okay? Keep it in. How you meant to do that? That's a lot of milk. I'm sure that's a jug of milk just in his ass. I think anyone would have trouble keeping it in. But I have to assume that this is their thing. Ryan's really experienced in it. Fucking hell, I can't believe I'm talking like this about Pancake Disco members. Ryan tightened his muscles, his toes curling as he did so. It hurt, tensing up along with a dull ache in his abdomen. Even with all this tightening, a little bit of the milk/water mixture escaped, sliding down the inside of his thigh. Ugh, oh, it's probably so cold. Maybe. Then the plug was in and he could relax his muscles, but only somewhat. Brendan picked up a washcloth and wiped down out the liquid that slid down Ryan's skin. It wouldn't be too long, Ryan knew, but always seemed an eternity. 5 minutes or 10 minutes could feel like hours. Brendan's fingers slid up Ryan's back until they were twisted gently in his hair. I can't wait to get you on the bed, he said thickly, voice low and gravelly. Gonna shove my tongue in you so deep, baby. I don't know why, but this reminds me of 50 Shades of Grey. Because I'm pretty sure Christian is like, oh yeah, baby. Or is that not true? I don't know. I've actually never read the books, or actually no, I did watch the first movie. I was 40 minutes in, and it was the most boring piece of shit I've ever watched. Same with 500 Days of Summer. Those are the only two movies that I think I've tapped out of, and they were both around 40 minutes in. I don't know, I was just so bored. I also just don't like 500 Days of Summer. Feels weird. I relate more to Summer purely because I'm also autistic like her. But anyways, Ryan moaned outright, despite the dull pain in his muscles and stomach. It was a low moan, soft but a moan nonetheless, and Brendan smiled at the sound. Is that what you want? The younger boy continued in the same tone. You want my tongue in you? Want me fucking your ass with my mouth? You're gonna say so fucking good, baby. His fingers tightened slightly in Ryan's hair, not enough to cause any pain, but just enough to make the boy gasp, then moan again. Then I'll you. So hard, baby. So goddamn hard. So deep inside. Okay, I get it, Brendan. You're gonna him so goddamn hard. So deep inside you. And then you'll take my cum in your pretty mouth. I have this gripe, okay? I have this gripe. I've read quite a bit of fan fiction. Last year, I read this fan fiction for a video, but never came into fruition. I think it was The Temptation of Edward Cullen. That's probably not the full fan fiction name. It was, and it got me into Twilight fan fiction because I was trying to find more Twilight fan fiction that I could laugh at, but then instead, I found it was really good, and it's actually peak. But I've read quite a bit of fan fiction, and for some reason, a lot of fan fictions spell cum, like the substance, like C-O-M-E, even though it's spelt C-U-M. And it's done in this fic. I'm not too sure why that is. If you're a fan fiction writer, especially one that writes like sex scenes and stuff, can you tell me why that happens? Is that people just misspelling it, or is it like a grammatical thing? I'm not too sure. But anyways, Ryan was whimpering, his hips moving ever so slightly, squirming. Please, he choked out. Please, he was begging for release. He knew it hadn't been long enough. But if Brendan kept up, he knew he wouldn't be able to hold it in. I think you can hold it in for another couple of minutes, but Brendan let go of Ryan's hands and sat back slightly, just letting his hands run slowly up the boy's sides. The older boy was quiet, just a few whimpers leaving his mouth, but still squirming. Brendan let his hands slip lower until he was firmly squeezing Ryan's arse in both hands. Almost, baby. Almost. There was another minute or so, Brendan's fingers skimming over the curve of Ryan's cheeks. And the older boy tried not to lose anything, trying to keep his muscles tense just enough. Okay, Brendan stood up, slowly kissing Ryan on the back of the neck before stepping out the tub. Slowly, he warned the boy, don't lose anything, okay? He held his hands out, letting Ryan take them as he stood and gingerly climbed out of the tub. Brendan lifted up the lids of the toilet seat and helped Ryan to sit. This was always when Ryan started to cry again. He hated it. Hated how Brendan was there for the release. So humiliating. Worse than the threats of letting Spencer watch or having Pete f*** him that one time when Brendan took Polaroids. Here's the thing. I'm not into like Fall Out Boy or whatever. I'm not in that stuff. But isn't Pete Wentz a pedophile? I'm pretty sure he was. I swear to God, on my life, that he was like 30 dating a 15-year-old. So this is very weird to include if I'm right. Please just... I can, Ryan said. I'm fine, I can. Brendan looked stern, frowning, shaking his head slightly. Stop. Ryan cried harder, bringing his hands out to push at Brendan when the boy moved closer, but too submissive to actually do it as the boy reached between his legs. Fingers closing around the end of the plug. Please, Ryan whispered again. Please, Bren. The boy ignored him. Don't let it go until I tell you to. He let Ryan's face fall into his shoulder. The boy was shaking from his choked sobs as Brendan slowly pulled the plug out. He set it on the counter next to the bowl he had mixed the milk and water in. One arm came up around Ryan. I don't know why, but I thought it was just pure milk. I'm pretty sure it did say earlier milk/water texture, but I've now just clocked it that it's not just pure milk. Maybe it's too expensive, I don't know. Despite his tears, the boy was still clenching, tighter than probably necessary. Okay, go ahead. Ryan shook his head. No, he cried harder when Brendan pressed his lips against the boy's temple. Please, Ryan, now. The boy was still crying, clinging desperately to Brendan as the first drops of the mixture began to slip out, and then, like always, he realized he really had no choice and just let go, sobbing harder as he heard the liquid falling into the toilet. Now, this really does sound humiliating. How can he get off on this? Were there people out there that were like masturbating to this? Tell me in the comments below if you're one of them. No, actually, no, yeah, you should actually. If you masturbate to this, tell me why in the comments. I would love to read it. For Brendan's part, he just held the boy, fingers running down his back, cooing soft sentiments to him. Good boy, good job, Rye. Finally, the noises slowed and Brendan took a step back. Letting Ryan wipe and flush the toilet, they both washed their hands in the sink and Ryan blew his nose. I'm sorry, he whispered, refusing to look at Brendan. I didn't mean to. I know you won't hurt me. Oh, how sweet. So, okay, so all the milk is out of his ass. So what exactly are they going to do? Is that just it? He gets milk up his ass, he cries, and then they have sex. What's the point in that? Okay. No, let me read on. Maybe I'm wrong. Brendan's cool fingers, still slightly wet from the water, slid under Ryan's chin, tilting the boy's face up to meet his eyes. Thank you, he returns, leaning in and kissing him, soft at first and harder, tongue slipping in. Bed, now, he added, unable to contain a smile as he felt Ryan's lips curve upwards against his. They walked out to the hotel bedroom area and Brendan nodded silently. So they're doing all of this in a hotel, like bathroom and bedroom. Oh my god. I hope they've cleaned up after themselves. Imagine being like the housekeeper and you come in after the Panic at the Disco in your hotel room, or the hotel's hotel room, and you find all this crap. My god, I would quit. Indicating Ryan should see in the position on the bed. Back or knees. Knees if they're not too sore. Ryan would take a lot more than sore knees for a rim job. Is a rim job anal? Like gay anal? I don't know, I've heard the term rim job before, but I've just never like looked into it. As he clearly demonstrated, so Brendan nodded his approval as the boy got on all fours in the bed. Ryan kept his head facing forward, resisting the urge to look over his shoulder and watch Brendan. The younger boy loved that. How he didn't have to order the boy to do it. Ryan obeyed the unspoken command of his own accord. The bed sunk down as Brendan knelt behind Ryan, hands squeezing the boy's hips. Brendan leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to Ryan's entrance, smiling when he heard the moan. Oh god. His mouth open, tongue slipping out, licking in broad, even stroke. No would do nothing but tease Ryan, torturing him, and truthfully, it was all Ryan could do to keep him from pressing his ass back on Brendan's face while begging more, more, more. Okay. Brendan sat up and leaned forward, pressing two fingers to Ryan's lips. The boy sucked them into his mouth whilst words, his tongue sliding around the digits, trying not to get over eager, trying not to just beg Brendan to him and start grinding his hips into the bed. When Brendan pulled his fingers from the boy's mouth, he leaned in for the kiss, smiling as he swallowed the moan from the intrusion of his fingers entering Ryan's hole while still kissing. Then his mouth was gone and Ryan's fingers twisted in the bed sheets, knowing what was coming, the muscles in his body tense in anticipation. Brendan's fingers pulled slowly, evenly, opening Ryan up just enough to slip his tongue in. Licking around the edge of Ryan's entrance, he licked over his own fingers as he slowly added another digit from each hand, pulling Ryan more open, exposing him more. His tongue slipped in deeper and Ryan tried so hard not to push his ass back on Brendan's face. The younger boy's tongue started dipping in and out, slow and first. I think that's meant to say slow at first. Then quicker. Ryan was moaning, head thrown back, hip barely rocking. Brendan pulled his tongue out and his fingers, letting his lips press against the hole that was still open to the air. He began to suck and Ryan let out a stream of expletives, is that how you want to say it? That Brendan had never heard before. Was he like screaming slurs or something? I don't know. He let up on the pressure, his tongue sliding back inside once more, teasing, pulling out a trace around the inside. Me, Ryan asked, voice high-pitched and uncertain. Brendan pulled off almost immediately, but didn't straighten up yet, pressing two fingers into Ryan abruptly, smirking at the boy's gasp. He slowly twisted them. You want me to fuck you? He asked as if he hadn't heard it, voice casual. Please, Brenny. The older boy returned desperately, pushing back against his fingers, his head falling into the pillows as he collapsed onto his arms, support following to his elbows. His fingers slipped out and Brendan helped Ryan turn to his back, kissing him softly on the mouth, enjoying Ryan's tongue probing his mouth curiously, searching for the taste. He pulled away after a moment and the old boy gave an airy sort of sigh. Then he was between Ryan's legs, bending them at the knee and separating them, settling between the thighs before he pushed in, lone lubricant and no warning. Oh, that hurt. Ryan made a low noise in the back of his throat at the burn stretch. He had been waiting for this. Brendan had him for a week. Not properly. Toys and fingers and a fist, but not this. So simple, just them, nothing artificial. How romantic. He wrapped his arms around his boyfriend's neck, leaning up to kiss his neck. They looked like any other couple just then, he mused. No one had been able to look at the ceiling and guess that Ryan had just been given a 2-quart enema, or that the other day he'd been made to stand in the corner for an hour after Brendan spanked him 50 times with a hairbrush. No, okay. I guess this is like a BDSM relationship. It doesn't seem very like, is there safe words? Is Brendan this mean for the kink, or is he just an asshole? I don't know. Brendan could tell Ryan was thinking and he angled his hips, shoving him roughly. When Ryan's eyes popped out open even wider and he let out a tiny squeak. He knew he'd found the spot. All semblance of thought seemed to evaporate from Ryan's features as he just gave in and started rocking against Brendan's hips, moaning. He reached for his boyfriend's hands, pressing the palm against his throat. Please, he whispered. Oh, now my voice is getting like very hoarse and gravelly. Brendan didn't need to be told twice, squeezing down on Ryan's neck, releasing after a moment to let him gasp for breath. I don't think that's how you choke someone. Here's the thing, saying this from experience, by the way. When choking safely, it's meant to be 2 fingers on each side of your neck, or 3, I guess. It's like the thumb and the 2 fingers next to the thumb. I don't know what you call. I think it's the forefinger and the middle finger. Yeah, squeeze that on the sides of the neck. It feels like choking, but it doesn't actually like crush your windpipe, or it's not very dangerous at least. That's how you're meant to choke. But I suppose if you're in a BDSM relationship, you don't really care about the pain and damaging the body, because that's kind of the point. But I'm just saying, if you want to choke safely, that's how you do it. Then his hand tightened again, and he repeated the pattern until his boyfriend started shaking his head, not wanting to use the safe words, but wanting Brendan to know he had enough. Oh, okay, so there is safe words. Good. His hand fisted into Ryan's hair, then squeezing tight enough to hurt, but not enough to pull the hair out. Touch yourself. Brendan breathed. Ryan obeyed immediately, one of his hands falling from Brendan's neck to slip between them, wrapping around the base of his cock, stroking a slow rhythm that contrasted with the thrust. He didn't want to come yet, but he knew he didn't have a choice anyway. He was come when Brendan told him. That was the rule. I've never got that. How can you hold in your cum? Like, okay, someone tells you not to come, but how do you like put that in practice? I think I'm very vanilla because I don't know how that works whatsoever. Maybe it's just a lot of practice, I'm not too sure. Faster, Brendan growled, shifting his weight so he could press in deeper. I want you close, Rye. Tell me when you're close. The boy nodded, quickening the speed of wrists obediently. Letting his eyes shut for a moment before he opened them back up, Brendan liked to watch him, said he could see Ryan melt through his eyes when they were in bed. He felt the hand tighten his hair slightly and he stopped moving. Close, he choked out. Brendan smiled, letting Ryan wonder if he was going to have to hold it, have to wait, have to worry if he could. It was late and he had to be up in 6 hours. When you feel me come, you can, he said, nipping Ryan's bottom lip between his teeth. The thrust got impossibly harder after that, but only for a moment. Brendan bit the inside of his cheek to keep from yelling as he felt himself explode, and then Ryan's wrist was flying as he moaned, low and whorish. Brendan could feel Ryan's cum hit his stomach as the older boy started swearing, his ass clenching down on Brendan's cock as his orgasm tore through him, leaving him breathless and gasping for air. Ryan collapsed prematurely, still feeling his orgasm rocking through him, but unable to move, unable to breathe, unable to think. And then he felt Brendan pull out, leaving him empty and loose. He whimpered at the loss, turning and pressing his face into the boy's chest as he lay down beside Ryan in the bed. Brendan's arms came up, feeling Ryan's trembling body. Baby, baby, he murmured. Shh. It's alright. He kissed the boy's temple, fingertips gently massaging, feeling back into Ryan's muscles. We're going to sleep now, okay? Early morning. Ryan whimpered, nodding, wondering if he'd been able to walk properly the next day. Brenny? Yeah, baby? I love you. I love you too, Ryan. Brendan waited until he stopped shaking before he got up to turn out the lights and set the alarm on his phone. Then he crawled back into bed and held Ryan until he fell asleep before he got up to clean the bathroom and put the equipment back into their suitcase. Well, at least he didn't leave all that for the housekeeping to deal with. He was only going to be running on 2 hours of sleep the next day, but it'd been worth it. I thought it was 6 hours. That was 2. Whatever, I don't really care. Anyways, that is the Milk Fic. I can't believe I've just read all that. My god. I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now, and I don't know what. I just feel really numb at the minute, just reading all that. I feel like at the end you could hear me just like reading this on autopilot. My god, I can't speak. It wasn't that badly written. I'm not a writer, so I wouldn't really know. But at least to me, the consumer, it wasn't that badly written. Sometimes it was a bit clunky. Oh no, it's alright for like a sex story, I guess. Again, very weird for it to be Brendan Urie and Ryan Ross. I don't know. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't really like real person fan fiction, but I kind of knew that's what I was getting myself into. I did not know about the milk enema. You know what? It's been like 10 years since the Milk Fic blew up, and I never knew that it was about a milk enema. My god, I've heard of coffee before because I watched this one episode of My Strange Addiction where a couple, I think, were really into coffee enemas. That was already crazy, but milk? Ugh, gross. No offense if you're like into milk enemas or whatever, but it's just not for me personally. Anyways, yeah, that was the Milk Fic. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I don't know if I've enjoyed reading this. It was certainly quite a different experience to what I usually read, so that's something. Anyway, subscribe and do all the other things I said at the beginning of this video. At that point, I feel like I deserve it for putting myself through this for you guys, whoever's watching. And yeah, goodbye.